So now let's start this topic, importance of forestry economic development. So after finishing the nature and the scope, we should go through this topic, importance of forestry and economic development. And when we talk about the economic development, we are also need to understand the national aspect. We need to understand also, right? First, we need to understand the general aspect, how it's going to help in the economic development, and then we also understand how it is going to useful in Indian condition, right, or the in India. So we need to understand. Let me try to understand that. So first, this is a statement that one need to understand. It's not so difficult to understand. Very simple statement. You people may have studied somewhere. Some have seen that. What does it mean, right? The simple statement: today has a rightful place in the general economy of the country. Is not a mere handmaid of agriculture and inexhaustible reserve for growing millions too. So why this statement come into the picture, right? So you go through this last statement and then you can understand the previous statement also. Tree means water, water means bread, and bread is life, right? So here if you talk about this bread, so this is economics, right? This is economics. So tree means water. So this is a simple aspect that you already studied in several subjects of your forestry. Okay, if we need a water or the regulation of water either on the land, or we have already studied in a very childhood that we need forest for this rainfall also there, or for any kind of precipitation. So it means tree has an importance, right? Tree is supposed to supply or to regulate the water, and through water means bread. Water means bread. Bread means if we have to generate, if we are making any kind of industry, anything or any thing that we have to produce. For example, you go for this simple thing, crop. We need an agricultural crop for our survival, right? Not only that, if you are turning the raw material into the finished product, we need water, right? So if we have a tree, we'll get a water, and through the water we can channelize most of the economic activity, right? So if you already study certain kind of go back to the history, right? If you study some civilization or something like that, to most of the civilization has been there nearby the water resource, isn't it? Either the river, or if there is a major water resource, most of the civilization has been nurtured there, right? Because they know that water is required for channelize their economic activity. So from the time immemorial to but still today, right, water is required. And how you get the water is just water is just one aspect I'm talking about. Water is representing, we consider the important resource that we are getting from the forest. So either you can take water as a simple one object, or we consider the one resource, but water also going to represent the importance of forest, right? Or the important resource or the life-saving resource, right, that we are getting from the forest. So now if understanding this definition, we can go for this upper statement also there, that tree has a rightful place in the general economy of the country. Forest is not a mere handmaid of agriculture but an inexhaustible reserve providing subsistence for our growing millions. So I hope by understanding this last statement you are able to get this all point here. Is it clear to all of you? See, we need to understand the first importance of forest, then we can understand how the forest can become economic uh, a resource for all of us. Now, the next statement that here we need to understand, it is going to be the productive assets. Productive asset. How it is a productive asset? So, in the introduction part, I have given you the idea. There are two kind of resource we have, isn't it? That the things we are getting from the forest. One is tangible, second is intangible, right? Fine. So both the things we are getting from the forest itself. And the second aspect I've told you, this forest basically comprises the vegetation, and vegetation is producer and product itself, right? So since we are getting product, right? So if we have any product, so that product has a certain economic value, isn't it? See, if for a producer, that doesn't make any sense. If as a producer you are not delivering certain product, so if product has a certain pricing, so if pricing will be there, so all these other aspect of economy has to be worked there. So if this forest is going to represent the productive assets, so if production is there, right, and you are getting the product, so obviously if product will be there, then you are able to have this things with you. What the next thing is? National development objectives, equity, stability, investment, and growth. Right? As I told you, National development includes everything, both some monetary things, non-monetary. Monetary means obviously investment and the currency has to be used. Non-monetary means the degree of happiness, welfare, right? Country has to invest lots of money for the welfare, whether you are not supposed to pay anything. Just take example again, COVID. Now you are getting free vaccination, right? So for your end, you have no monetary has been nothing you have to pay. Government has to increase. So national development is including everything. So if we have a productive, so first the productive effect, productive asset, and the purpose for this is to first attaining national development objectives. So what's the basic national development objectives I told you? Obviously economic upliftment also there, and second the welfare activity. Both the things basic this both basic things has to be met by the forest itself. It means if we have to sustain our forest, the forest can generate revenue for the country, right? So you have certain contribution in GDP should be there. GDP, I hope you already know the GDP, gross domestic product, right? So there is a contribution you will get from the forest itself there. And if the forest will be there, the forest has a certain other non-marketing use also there. For example, I told you carbon, oxygen, everything has to be regulated by the forest. So welfare objectives should also be met by using this forest product, right? Then including equity is, I several times I have explained to you, equity means proportional distribution of the resource, right? Proportional. Again, I am told you priority should be which sector need more, you have to provide them more. Which sector need less, you provide the less. So proportional distribution should be there. Then stability, as it already explained you several times, sustainability, stability, rotation is there to stabilize the thing. Then investment and growth, this is important. Investment and growth, as I told you, if there should be no production, no product aspect will be there, no investment. So if we have understand the forest in that aspect, that through the forest we are able to produce certain useful product, then investment will be there. It means capital input should be there. Just take example of yourself also. If you have a money and you have to use somewhere, where you're supposed to use it, unless or until you have the intention to get some return. And how you'll get some return? For the return you need certain product to sell out, and in return you'll get it, isn't it? So since forest has this kind of characteristics, that is become a productive assets, so capital formation will be there. And growth means what? Quantitative increment, right? To meet the demand and supply gap, or to bridge the gap between there and to cater the need of growing population, quantitative increment should be there by using the concept of forest economics. And if all these aspects will be there, then forest can help in the national building programs of the they have the forest can contribute uh, in the national economic scenario, right? I hope the first line is clear to all of you. Right. So there are one example you can say that has been already there. There's the programs in community forestry, right? Certain programs has been already awareness program or certain kind of some other program has been done by the forest department and basically in the community forestry, and the purpose for all this program is to make a relation between the rural development and the productive role of forest, rural development and the productive role of forest, right? So these programs is just one example how this first statement can be justified, how the forest is a productive asset and how it's supposed to get the national development or any other kind of objective. So this one program that has been written over the community forestry program, and in extension forestry and some other people and forest you have already studied detail, so I'm just giving one statement there. I'm not going to get in detail into that, right? So this is just summation of all these things. This important role economic development were the basis that I will explain to you. This provide you goods and services. They provide raw material, right? Fuel and fodder for the rural households. Whatever these two slides have given you certain statement. These are the gist. These are the simplification of all those statement there. Now, this is what the basic services that you are getting from the forest. So these are some important services that you are getting from the forest itself that you people have already aware of that. So again, I'm just giving the brief on that. So these are the water, you know that water regulation. Then you can say that absorbing the rainwater, so that if the absorbing will be there. So what the advantage we are absorbing means you will get delayed water supply in the form of springs or in the form of some small stream from the forest area, right? And through this basis you are also able to curtail down the adverse impact of flood. So if you look at all this activity, do you think it is an economic activity to regulation of water? How many of think that the regulation of water from the forest is a kind of economic activity? Yes or no? Hmm? Do you think that whether you can put certain price to that kind of water supply? Right, despite, okay, so now I get the answer. So here you need to understand one aspect that you can easily understand the things. See, those people residing in the forest area, they can easily understand that they are getting free water supply. Free water supply through the springs. Those residing in the forest area or the nearby the hilly area, springs are there. First thing that free. You are using no machine there because of the gravitation, the water is coming to you without making any effort. Third, no purification mechanism has to work there, isn't it? You are not supposed to purify. Water is completely purified. So this is one aspect. Now consider the aspect in the in that town area where most of the people are residing. How you get the water? You are getting the water either the water department has to get the water from the groundwater or they get it from the river. And how the water has to come? They're supposed to use mechanization process there. then use the heavy machines, right, to get that water. Then they have to purify, they have to make uh, channel system so that the water can be supplied in a different part of a town. So you just compare these two activity. In town, isn't it? We have there's lots of investment has to be there for set up all this water supply. Where in the forest area, everything is free, right? So despite it looks that that is not an economic activity, but if you look at the second aspect, you can easily understand that this is the one of the important economic uh, activity that has been performed by the forest area itself. You just compare, if just take an imagination, if there is no forest, it means we have to pay the extra price for the water that we are getting, isn't it? So you just take a scenario also there. So this water supply is also one of the economic activity from the forest part. You can't say that there's no economic activity because no effort has been made. You have to make a comparison, right? You are getting purified water from the spring free of cost. You just go for buying one liter Bisleri. You can compare. 1 liter costs you 20 rupees. It means if there will be no forest, isn't it? People has to pay 20 rupees for 1 liter of purified water, which they are getting free of cost there. So we can't say that the forests are not performing any economic activity. There is economic activity, but since that activity has no proper market, so that's why we are not counting that. But you have to take some another aspect also there, some comparison, and then you can easily understand that this kind of activity is also economic activity. Have you get that? So I like to conclude the things here itself. In the next session I'll extend from here and we'll move on.